Welcome back to Copper State Doors, guys. Greatly appreciate you tuning in here today. So, I recently acquired one of their new Gen 2 uppers for one of their bolt actions. This is in the 22 arc. This is a 20-inch barrel. Very, very nice. Very, very sleek. I like it a lot. But I wanted to go ahead and pair it with one of the newer lowers that they had. So I was able to acquire their Gen 2 lower receiver for the AR-15. So I went ahead and got some new hardware from Palmetto State Armory and got some Magpul furniture, and we're going to go ahead and get that installed here today. Let's get to it. Let's go ahead and get in our pins on the side of those. Kind of pre-organized everything so that way I know where everything's at. So the one nice thing that I've noticed here about this is that instead of just having a recess here, I don't know if I can clear, there you go. So this is actually a screw with an Allen head. And same here, right here. Normally these would just be vacant holes that you can go ahead and use one of the set pins right here, but then you go ahead and use the end plate to go ahead and cover up the spring here in the back. But they've made it nice enough so that way you don't have to deal with that. And what I am using, I believe it is a 1/16 Allen. See, it's just a tiny, tiny little screw. Sorry if I can't focus for a little bit. Very easy to lose, so be aware of that. And kind of the same thing here with that. I'll spare you all the long boring parts and do this here myself. So I tried to upload this video a couple of days ago, but YouTube's algorithm caught the video and said, hey, even though we let other people upload videos of people showing how to build lower receivers, we can't let you do that. So here's your first warning. Okay. They don't give any explanation of how not to avoid this warning when it comes to what step-by-step steps can't be shown on how to build one of these. So here's my take of what their rule says. So I'm gonna have to omit at least a couple of parts so I'm not showing the complete path of how to create a lower receiver using parts, so that way I can abide by their terms. So I'm sorry, I did have everything. So here we are, just covering the more critical, harder things that I found when I'm trying to build a lower receiver. Again, sorry, but this is kind of what I'm having to do to try to work with their policies, but still show you how to work through those tough parts. We're gonna now go ahead and drop in our pin just a little bit. See if it fits in right there. Get back. Bet. Probably should have dropped this in first. Dropped it in there. This is kind of the trickier part because now there is a lot of pushback on the spring. So I'm going to go ahead and get my Allen ready. I was experimenting with it earlier just to make sure I could get this in, and it can go in. It just takes a second. Like I said, it is optional for this part. Let's get it on, get it in, make her flush. And there she be. And this pops out just like it should. Now we're going to go ahead and get the magazine drop set in. So nice and easy. Drop in that spring. I'll go ahead and have the rigid side facing out. Push back the spring. Get her all twisted in. Push in that button a little bit more, so we want it flush against there. That was a little too far, so we're going to go ahead and back her off. One spin. Okay. See, that's just a little bit flush there. And it actuates. Cool. All right. So we do have for the bulk carrier group charger, or not the charger, but I can't remember what this part is called. The kit does come with a pin, but because Uintah already provided us here with that threading, that pin that threads in, we're just going to go ahead and use that. So go ahead and drop in our spring first. And go ahead and drop in that pin. Install this like so. And this is going to take me a minute to go ahead and get screwed in, so I am going to spare you that time. And now I'm on the last little leg, and we're going to go ahead and get it so that way it's a little past flush. I'll give it a quarter of a turn more. Cool. All right. That is now done. So they did include here that trigger well, but because this is already included, it's nice and deep enough. We won't need this, so we can go ahead and set that off here to the side. Oh, and by the way, I forgot to mention what kind of kit that I bought here. So this is the PSA Magpul ACS-LEPT. Don't know what that means, to be honest. I just saw it. Kit looked nice. It was in flat dark earth. I said cool. Went ahead and bought it. So yeah, that's that. Cool. Yeah, so they include here with this kit the whole trigger, including the buffer tube too, obviously. But because we already have our own trigger, because when we bought our upper, they included a free Vitrum single stage trigger. I opted in here for the flat instead of the curved trigger, so that's what this one is, and it comes free with every upper that you buy. So I'm going to go ahead and get this one installed. It does come with its own Allen key and a special set of instructions that you can use. And since we aren't going to need any of this, we're going to go ahead and just take out these pins, because that is the only thing that we're going to require. And I'll just set this aside, because I need this for a different repair kit in the future. So I'll set that off there. Depending on how far back that these are pushed, you may need to walk them forward just a little bit, so that way you're not spending a lot of time trying to get these set to the proper depth and taking forever. There it is. So just get it walked in just enough. That way it's pretty much already ready and set to go. Pretty much drop it in, and then you can just line up the holes. Take your pins, drop them in, make sure it matches. Now they do mention in their kit that you do not want to get the anti-walk pins, because it is going to interfere with the mechanics of this. So I'm going to go ahead and make sure that these are nice and flush. So we need to go ahead and get these pushed to the side. So you just need to get that in there. And what this does is that there's those two pins, it pushes the trigger into the block, so that way it pushes up against these pins to prevent it from sliding out. And we go ahead and get it twisted in so we can feel that it bottoms out right there. Give it a little more of a turn. Go ahead and find that other end. So it's going to feel like you're not grabbing anything, but once you kind of get it in far enough, you'll feel that it seats really, really snugly. That's when you know that this thing has bitten the Allen in there, the Allen screw, and then there we go. Now they allow you to go ahead and adjust these triggers. It goes from about 2.5 to about 4 or 5 pounds for the trigger pull. But right in here, right in the center, if you can see this, right there, that's what you'd be able to use to adjust the trigger. Yeah, just go ahead and follow the instructions more in depth there. I believe to the right tightens it, makes it harder for the trigger pull, so it increases the poundage. Turn it to the left, it'll loosen it up so that we can get to about 2.5, and it comes standard with 3 pounds. So I may not have mentioned this before, but this spring in here, when you're trying to get the end plate, which is this sucker right here, on here, which makes it nice for this because now I can put this on and I can remove this at any given point in time and I don't have to worry about that spring. I have almost lost this spring and the detent multiple times assembling these in the past, and this makes it nice. It's difficult to get that one in, but it makes it so nice to keep it in there because now I don't have to worry about this in the future. So if I wanted to switch this out and use it on a different rifle so that way I can have a sling on it, I don't have to worry about this. This spring here as well is, I would say, kind of one you also want to look out for, but it's not as crazy as this one, but you do want to keep an eye on it. I have almost lost this one here as well in the past, so just be mindful when you're putting those together that you have a back board here so that if it does spring out, it can catch it at least. So go ahead and get this installed, and then we'll go ahead and start working on that. So I did probably tighten this here a little prematurely in regards to my firing mechanism, or my safety I should say. So we're going to go ahead and get this loosened up because it's just a hair too tight to get this in. So I can almost get it in, it's just that last little bit that's making it a little difficult. So just keep that in mind. This is my first time installing one of these triggers, so I'm just used to installing the old-fashioned ones. So this is new to me for this. So I'll go ahead and get that in there and squared away. So if for any reason that it doesn't start working after you've gone ahead and released those pins down there, try pushing them down on the hammer, because I was trying to get it in and it wouldn't go in until I actually pushed down, and then it finally loosened up. So if you are struggling with that, just try you doing that and that'll help you out. Put back in. Oh, that's such a clean break. So nice. Awesome. Now, one thing I did want to mention here, the buffer tube that is inside here is not needed for your bolt action, but it does make it very nice for your assisting the next round to go into the chamber. If you want to buy your own lower, you can go to their website. If you want to buy just the upper, you can do the same thing there. If you want to buy the whole thing together, just go to uintahprecision.com to go ahead and purchase your kit. They do have bolt actions as well as semi-autos. They even have some muzzle loaders if you're interested in those. So just uintahprecision.com. This is not a sponsored video by them. This is just a shout out to them because I like the stuff that they make, and I thought that it deserved a shout out and a spot on the channel. So yeah, if you want to go ahead and get yours, go to their website. Otherwise, I want to leave you here with that message from Oliver Cromwell. Put your trust in God, boys, but mine to keep your powder dry. Thanks for watching.
Call him when you're going to send it, okay? So he's going to spot you.
All right, I'm ready when you are.
Trying to find environmental. All right, go to the circle, 1 MOA to the right. Sending. Oh, that was left. That was left.
So not
Okay.
Yeah, you see where it was?
Yeah.
Impact.
Impact?
Impact. Second shot.
Dude, this has no
960
recoil.
yards.
Impact.
Ooh.
Dead center, dude.
Nicely done. Go for the little square.
Yeah, see the little square to the left, about 8 o'clock from the
Oh,
big
the tiny little thing?
Yep, hold your same wind.
Oh,
you-
just
off
to the left of
Yeah,
it.
off left.
That's what I was doing.
Oh, just
over
high.
the top. Just over the top.
Just high.
That
Got
wind
one
is
more.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Oh, that. Oh.
that was close.
Come on, buddy.
All right,
You got this.
let's do
Show
it.
me up.
Oh, dude,
Is that it?
Yeah! There you go. You did what I could not.